Hello and welcome to LFC Focus. Liverpool have just beaten Bournemouth by 4-0 at the Vitality Stadium in what was a really good performance without Liverpool ever having to really, go full throttle and really go at Bournemouth at any point. It was a really professional way of winning a game 4-0. And to be honest, everywhere on the pitch, Liverpool just performed really, really well. It's strange coming into a post-match video with pretty much nothing negative to say at all. It was a really confident, impressive and professional performance from Liverpool. Starting off with the defence, they never looked troubled. Bournemouth had a few sustained periods of pressure. They came at us a little bit, especially in the second half, and they only really were reduced to a couple of decent chances. Apart from when Defoe hit the post in the first half, Bournemouth never really looked like threatening the Liverpool goal, and I think that is testament to how well the defence performed, because obviously in these kind of games Liverpool's fullbacks often like to bomb on a little bit, and sometimes our defence does get a little bit exposed, especially that's kind of what happened at the Vitality Stadium last season when Liverpool lost 4-3. So to see us play like that today was really, really impressive. The midfield just again summed up the whole performance by never really going for the jugular, never really overextending at any point, always staying in around about third or fourth gear or something like that, but keeping the game nice, keeping the game controlled, keeping a foothold on everything, and then the attack just kind of did its job when it needed to. When Liverpool needed to get goals to win the game and to win the game comfortably, they did. So all in all, a really nice, really comfortable performance from Liverpool, and that is what you want to see around this time of year, when the fixture list is so congested, when you need to maybe think about resting players or preventing players from just overdoing it in these kind of games. It's good that you have a game won by half time pretty much, and you never really need to go at Bournemouth. So going through the goals then, one by one, the first goal is just an absolute cracker by Phil Coutinho. I said in the pre-match video for the game that if anyone was going to win this game for Liverpool, if anyone was going to take it by the scruff of the neck and just control it, it was going to be Phil Coutinho, because he is just a class above any of the Bournemouth players. And that's no disrespect to any of the Bournemouth players. It's just a huge compliment to Liverpool's Felipe Coutinho, because he is just that good. I mean, the whole time he makes that run, the ball just looks like it's glued to his feet. None of the Bournemouth players get anywhere near him because they're constantly scared of either, giving away a penalty or just getting turned and made to look ridiculous by him. And that's just a sign of how good Felipe Coutinho is at the moment, that players are scared to go near him in those kind of situations. And it obviously helps him, because it helps him to score goals like that. And special credit to the run from Andrew Robertson as well, who just drags some of the Bournemouth defenders wide, creates a little bit more space for Felipe Coutinho and allows him to actually make that run into the box and get into a threatening position. And it's nice to see that partnership between Coutinho and Robertson is starting to come to fruition a little bit more, because earlier on in the season when Robertson did play, especially I think it was the draw against Burnley at Anfield, there was just no chemistry between the two of them. They weren't playing off each other's runs. They weren't making the passes to each other or anything like that. So with Moreno's injury and Robertson's more extended run in the side, it's great to see that they are building up a little bit more of a partnership on that left-hand side. And then the second goal, absolutely fantastic work from Roberto Firmino. Really just sums up how we played this game. Just the never say die attitude, the persistence, the desperation to get the ball and always try and create chances and keep Liverpool on the front foot is epitomised there, where he just hooks the ball back in, and then actually really good from Dejan Lovren, incredibly sharp to see the ball coming there and to know exactly where it's going to go. Make that diving header quite early while the ball is still flying and still dipping before any of the other Bournemouth players can react. And actually pretty brave of him as well to throw himself in like that when he could easily take a kick to the face at that height, making that diving header. So really nice goal from Dejan Lovren. All in all, he had a pretty good performance today. I was very, very critical of him after the Merseyside derby. I've kind of changed my tune on that penalty now, having watched it a lot more times, because if you're a Liverpool fan on Twitter, you basically couldn't get away from that gif of Dejan Lovren conceding that penalty for at least 3 days after the derby. After seeing it from all sorts of angles and all so many times, I actually think it's just a dive. And to be honest, Dejan Lovren didn't really do that much wrong. So fair play to him. Really good, solid performance today, and nice to see him get a goal as well and put Liverpool in control that early on in the game. And then before half-time, Liverpool basically put the icing on the cake with an absolutely beautiful goal from Mo Salah. Just a fantastic run from the player. It epitomised how unstoppable he is at the moment, that he's kind of got that Luis Suarez quality that he can basically do anything and make it look easy. You know, the Bournemouth players expecting him to try and knock the ball in front of him and beat him for pace. Mo Salah decides he's not going to do that. Again, like Coutinho, he kind of keeps the ball glued to his feet, slaloms past a couple of people, and then just slots it into the far corner like it's absolutely nothing. And like I say, that's what makes him so unstoppable, is that he can basically do anything, and it's impossible for people to predict what he's going to do. And when you try and predict what he's going to do, he'll just go and do the exact opposite, and he'll score a goal. So great from Mo Salah. Another lovely performance from him today. Great to see that he was getting that space behind Bournemouth because of how the high line that they kind of played. You know, I always like playing Bournemouth because they just come at Liverpool a bit more, and even if we don't win the game, even if it was 0-0 at half time, I would have still been enjoying the game, because at least, you know, Liverpool were getting chances, Bournemouth were getting chances as well, and it made for quite an entertaining football match, which after the draws with Everton and West Brom, I think we were all absolutely craving. So a really lovely first half. Again, really impressive to see Liverpool have such a commanding lead without ever really kicking into fifth or sixth gear or anything like that. So that was fantastic to see. And then the second half kind of didn't have that momentum to it, didn't have that energy, because Liverpool were just completely out of sight, and Bournemouth never really got into the rhythm where they were going to threaten to mount any sort of comeback. And then Liverpool put the icing on the cake with the fourth goal from Roberto Firmino. You know, he had a fantastic game today. Like I said earlier, great assist for the second goal, and he really, really deserved this goal. He ran the channels brilliantly, never gave up on anything, and it was great to see him get such a nice goal. Great flicked header, great cross from Coutinho to actually have that vision and to put the right amount of curl for it to go onto Bobby Firmino's forehead as well. And yeah, it's offside just by a little bit. It's a tiny bit offside, but we did have an offside call go against us about a couple of minutes earlier, where I think Coutinho and Salah were flagged offside despite being in their own half, and they were both through on goal. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. For once, the decisions have actually evened themselves out, and Liverpool won the game incredibly impressively by a 4-goal margin. And if I had to pick a man of the match, it would be Roberto Firmino. You know, Alan Smith on Sky Sports on commentary said that you could basically give a 7 out of 10 to any Liverpool player on the pitch today. It was just that kind of professional, by the book, really, really impressive performance from the Reds today. He gave his man of the match award to Oxlade-Chamberlain, which I can't really argue with. You know, I thought Oxlade-Chamberlain was great today. He's really growing into his role at Liverpool. I said when he first arrived that you would need to give him several months at least for him to settle in at the club and start to get Jurgen Klopp's philosophy and really fulfill it on the pitch. He's starting to do that now. He's playing really well. He's influencing the team. He actually got an assist for Mo Salah's goal, although, you know, slightly dubious as to how much credit you can really give him after Mo Salah's fantastic run to make that third goal. But yeah, impressive performance from Oxlade-Chamberlain as well, and really good from him in the interview afterwards when Phil Coutinho got asked about the Barcelona links. Oxlade-Chamberlain actually stepped in and basically just said, you know, we all love Phil here. He's a great professional. He's doing a great job for Liverpool now, and that's all that matters. So it's good to see that he is, you know, helping his teammates off the pitch as well as on it. But if I did have to pick a man of the match, it would be Firmino, because, you know, I absolutely love him. He had a good performance today, never really gave up on anything, had a particularly good first half as well, got an assist, got a goal, and it's just really growing into the kind of number 9 that Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp want, and that is fantastic to see. So all in all, yeah, a really great performance. Liverpool back in 4th now, which is exactly what we all wanted going into this game. All we wanted was 3 points and to get back into those Champions League spaces, and it was nice to get a confidence boost going into a crunch tie against Arsenal on Friday night, where we will then have the opportunity to even further cement our place in those Champions League spots. So that is all for today's video. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. I'll be back shortly with all the pre-match content for the game against Arsenal at the Emirates on Friday night. Until then, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button there. Check out some of the other videos that have been out on the channel over the past few days and weeks. Don't forget to follow at LFC Focus TV on Twitter, and I'll be back in a few days for the pre-match content for the game against Arsenal. Until then, bye for now.